part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane,
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast, the only podcast that has the Krypton Report reporters. That's right, just us. And with me is James, the Man of Steel, the Superman of Red, the man with a beard.
With a beard.
Long pause.
I do have a beard, yes.
And then there's me, Tyler, the man who started growing some beard, but I think I'm going to shave because I can't stand it. And then we have a special guest for a certain segment of tonight's podcast. Go ahead and say hello, special guest.
Hi guys, my name's Solomon. I'm like the only kid here. It's fine. I'm 7, about to turn 8 in 4 months.
It's kicking it. But before we get into this week's episode, the last time James and I recorded, this episode kind of is delayed a little bit because, as you can hear, I'm still getting over a cold, and this life happens. And then, of course, I had my little venture at Cincinnati Expo and things. So we do apologize that this one's a little delayed. Last time James and I recorded, I posed a question about Melissa Benoist being on Superman and Lois, and I actually got a quote here from our friend Rebecca from Supergirl Radio. So we're going to cut to it and let Rebecca talk.
This is Rebecca Johnson of Supergirl Radio, and the topic of Melissa Benoist on Superman and Lois is a sensitive and complicated one. Kara has never been acknowledged on the series, which seems to be a gross oversight considering it's a family show, and they are intentionally ignoring his best-known biological relative. Yet, they use elements from her mythology like ex-Kryptonite, Les-Lar, and Stanhope. The one redeeming aspect of seeing Melissa Benoist as Kara/Supergirl again is that the show could do all of the things that the CW Supergirl series neglected to do, which is honestly to tell a Supergirl story and care about her history. Being on another Earth gives the writers a chance to start from scratch to write a story that isn't tied down to the canon of the Supergirl show. And given how disappointed I was with the last few seasons, it might be refreshing to see Melissa's Kara in a new light. I could be open to seeing the Girl of Steel on Superman and Lois, but at this point, with how they have seemingly removed her from Kal's story, I would advise them to be reverent and thoughtful with how they would ever introduce her.
All right. Thanks, Rebecca, for that. And if you haven't, check out Supergirl Radio. Great show for Supergirl facts. And check their back catalog. Great. Good time. Good people. All right. So we're going to do our show a little bit different. Today, we're going to start at the top because we got Solo here with something. And then we're going to kind of work backwards a little bit because recently it was revealed the photos of Tyler Hoechlin's new suit. And of course, the internet erupted in arguments. So what we decided to do, because we're sick of this crap, is we made a flowchart of every live-action Superman suit, which we've talked about before on here. But what we did differently is we decided to rank them in numbers with the following criteria: bodysuit, muscle padding, the color blue, the color red, the boots, the belt, the trunks, the cape, the curl, and the crest. And then we gave it a point system out of 8. And then we added all those up. And we're going to find out what suit came out the highest. Because I'm sick of the debates and I'm sick of the fighting over people saying stupid stuff like, oh, he's still not wearing a Superman suit yet. Or it looks like a Halloween costume. Or that's not really a Superman suit because it doesn't have trunks. You know what? You're just lucky that's been a little bit because I was so fired up over people's conversation about trunks that I was livid. We was about to have our first expletive episode. But That's not going to happen. So,
Yeah, the trunks is one ridiculous hill to die on. I mean, the other, it's all a subjective bit, but who likes what suit and what bits you like from the suits and everything. But
like Link,
if he doesn't have the trunks, it's not a suit. He's not Superman. Like
like the
that's
late
just
great Chester Bennington
ridiculous.
said, in the end, it doesn't really matter. But here we go. We're just going to kind of jump into it. We're going to start. There's only one I left out, and it wasn't because it would have been like horrible like to write, and that was David Wilson for the musical. So before anyone jumps on me and says, "Where's David Wilson?" Yeah, sorry. And if it probably wouldn't happen because nobody recognizes him, but like me, just because I'm a completionist. So we're going to start here with the 1939 World's Fair Ray Middleton. Now, instead of going like little by little, what we'll do is we'll just give you our number sum totals, and then we'll just kind of chit chat a little bit about each one. We won't take super long with this, but what I'll do me, Solomon, and James. We'll go. So Solomon gave a total to Ray Middleton's suit 39 points. Tyler gave it a 23. James, what did you give Ray Middleton? Matt. 15.
15.
Now, Solomon, is there anything you'd like to say about Ray's outfit here?
I like the boot.
You like the boots?
A lot of people might say I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure your dad would be among the first.
what?
I tell him it's okay to have his opinion as long as he can say why. He can be different than me. I don't care. We'll talk differently, but you know what? He's entitled to his own opinion.
I put it the booth at 6, so that's one reason.
Yeah. So, all right. So Ray Middleton, 39, 23, 15. All right. Kirk Allen, the 1948 serials, first on film, technically, Superman. Solomon gave Kirk 36. Daddy, me, Tyler, 27. That's right. Talking about myself in the third person. James, what did you give Mr. Kirk? Ooh,
19.
I think Kirk's, let's face, is the basis foundation of what's to come, and it's just starting out, and it's also harder because his is in black and white.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely a step up.
It's a huge step up from the World's
Fair.
Fair. All right, George. Now, George's biggest, to me, I will point out here with George's suit, the biggest thing to me that's a downer is I don't like his cape.
Yeah.
But Solomon gave him a 52. A new 52. I gave him a 35.
I gave him a 30.
Anything you want to sum up and say about George, Solomon? Go ahead. I mean, I like the blue. I like the crest, very traditional. It's a step, a little bit above Kirk's, but it's the cape that I really don't like.
I'm not put the cape as a 1. I might just change something to the cape to 1.
All right. So move on to the next one, Solomon. The next one is when we start to get... It's amazing how much time we just jumped. From 52 to 78. Now, I'm be honest, okay? This is supposedly everyone's I met some people at the convention who are yeah, the Chris Reeve, the True Blue right suit. And I mean, I'll break it down a little bit. Okay, so Solomon gave Chris's suit 65. I gave it a 62. Now, here's my negatives. I don't like how short the cape is. And I don't like how high the boots are. Those are two big negatives for me on this suit. And sometimes the blue looks a little too sky blue. And the belt looks really plasticky. But what do you got for Chris?
I got a 65.
Oh,
for
Solomon
Chris.
and so that so far that is the highest ranking. Somebody okay. So I need a highlighter. Do I have a highlighter in here, Solomon? Like a highlight marker in here?
You have marker, but no highlighter.
What do I have? Anything? Okay, I'll just take the Sharpie. Okay, so Solomon, go to the next one.
Superboy.
The next one is John Hames Newton's Superboy. And gotta respect, which are basically Chris
No kidding.
suits. Solomon. And what it we got the cat up in our face. Get out of here, Kate. Solomon gave 58 for John Newton, and I gave a 43.
I actually gave him a 60. It wasn't too far off of
The
look
boots
of
are a little
Reeve,
bit different, and the cape's a little longer. All right, now see. All right, so the next one is Gerard's. And Gerard's, I like the blue bodysuit better, but Gerard's I gave a 45 to, but excuse me, I tried to turn away. Solomon gave a 62. What'd you give it, James?
1 second there.
Okay.
48.
48. Okay. Now the thing is about Gerard's is I don't like the cape. It's more like Chris's cape. It's a little shorter, and his boots are a little higher and a little different. And I don't really like the boots. All right. Next is Dean Cain's. Now, Dean's, I like the blue bodysuit. But for Dean Cain, Solomon gave a 53. I gave a 39. What'd you do, James?
I give Dean a 45.
Okay, so you go 45. Okay. You're like right in
Well,
the middle of me.
the S is a little different, the
See,
reds
that's
don't
that's
quite
my
match. The square belt buckle as opposed to the round belt buckle. Couple little negatives there,
like
you
the
know what I'm
boots I
saying?
really don't like, and the cape I like that it's flowy, but it looks too flowy. It's too light. What do you think about this one, Solomon?
I hate the boots.
They're like, if I had to rank all boots, these would be like number 2 on the worst. Number 1 are still Tyler Hoechlin's Supergirl boots. Those are the number 1 worst boots. These would be number 2. All right. So next, Superman Returns. The great Brandon Routh. Let's see. Solomon gives it a 49. I gave it a 55.
I mean, I actually give it a 65, same as Chris. The only thing that really, besides the size of the emblem and then the like maroonish red that it has, it's pretty much pretty ideal. And how heavy the
Mine
cape
is the
looks
cape's
sometimes.
too heavy and leathery. I don't like that's more maroon. I don't like the boots being the way they are in the maroon. I like the style of the trunks. If we're gonna go trunks, I like these style.
Very much so.
I love this belt. I love the blue of the bodysuit, but I don't like the neckline.
Yeah. You notice that the new animated continuity Superman has like a similar belt.
So,
yeah.
All right. Now, moving on. We went ahead and just jumped ahead like a little out of order, but this would be Brandon Routh's Superman Crisis on Infinite Earths. Solomon, 66. James, what was yours?
Oh, I mean, I give it
Okay,
a
I went
70.
80. Like, yeah, and I mean,
Did you?
the one thing I didn't even put on here, I didn't think about is later the black in the symbol does change to yellow. But yeah, I mean, what can I say negative about this suit? There's nothing to say negative. The boots maybe a little too like shoey, but at the same time they look good.
Honestly, it just looks weird because Brandon's got such
That's true.
big feet.
Yeah,
He does.
That's about it. That's the only real thing that makes him look like Clompy is just how big
I
his damn feet
I
are.
also don't like the trunks because they're like light red.
Yeah.
Almost like a little dark red.
But I mean, look at that 66, 70, and 80.
I also don't like the hair that had like silver hair. I don't
Well,
like
that's the style of the Superman. It's a specific time in Superman's life. So, all right, Solomon, take us to the next one. Man of Steel. All right, Man of Steel. 46 from Solomon, 48 from Tyler.
I give it a 60. And it's mostly from this picture. I mean, there's some detractions when you look at it. I mean, I think the boots are
agree.
great, kind of minus the belt, there's not really a belt there. There's just that oval piece. Um, just a little extra designs like the hips and the cuffs, but otherwise, I mean, it's a fantastic suit. I don't need the trunks. I love the cape.
I
I'm
love the
fine with
cape.
how long it is. It looks amazing flying. The S, I've always loved the way that the S
What
looks from
what
Man of
S do you
Steel
prefer, the
forward.
Man of Steel or the BVS? I kind of prefer the Man of
Um,
Steel.
I do too. I don't know why it was necessary to add the Kryptonian writing in the middle of it. I mean, I like the quote
New
and
action figure.
everything, but um, yeah, I mean that's honestly it. I mean and we'll get to it here momentarily.
All right, so I'm gonna click on the next one. Take us to BVS. So the BVS, it's hard to find a picture of him like in a full suit from that movie. Like there's like this picture, and then I think the one of him like walking down the hall.
I mean, they made it it's a Batman movie.
So I mean, it's hard to find a good full body picture. So on this one, I gave it a 36, or Solomon gave it a 36. I gave it a 55.
I mean, I give it a 60. I like it just as much as the Man of Steel suit. I like the blue a little better. The square buckle and the what looks to be more of a belt along the side looks a
Just
little
certain
better.
scenes, like the muscles look a little bit more harder than like as soft as they were like in the Man of Steel. These look a little bit more carved out in the suit. But I
Right.
like the blue.
Well, I mean,
But
he was bigger for he was way more muscular for
right,
BVS than he was for Man of Steel. I mean, except for that one the peak shots when he
yeah.
was shirtless. Like other than that, he was overall bigger for BVS than he was for
All
Man
right.
of
So
Steel.
now Justice League, because there's a difference. Let's see. Solomon gave it a 60. I gave it a 46.
I mean, I'm right there with you. You know, the blue was way too bright, and I don't like the chrome shining through the blue. Just
All right. Yeah, we don't have to discuss that too long. All right. Tyler Hecklin's Supergirl suit.
I started calling it
Studio League.
Studio League.
All
Yeah.
right. So this suit has the worst cape hookup and the worst boots of all time.
Yes.
Solomon gave it a 46. I ended up giving it a 52. I do really like the S symbol. What'd you give it? Excuse me.
I mean, it's a 48. You know, the cape clips, the two-tone blue, the boots, the belt. Um, the color looks really good, and the symbol looks really great.
All right.
Um,
All right. Tyler's first suit, the Fleischer-inspired suit. Solomon gave it a 56. I give it a 64.
oh, nice. um, I mean, it's a 65 for me. It's great. Just I mean, except for the foam muscle padding, I love
Yeah.
it. Color and all, color belt, black behind the S, the gold outline.
All right. Next one, Solomon. All right. So this is the season 1 Superman and Lois. Solomon 59. I give it a 57. I really like the belt. And you know what? I actually do like the boots. They're like not traditional, but they work and they look comfortable to actually wear. And I like the color blue, but we all know how the padding and stuff worked, and the emblem was the worst part.
Yeah, I mean, it was flat, the neckline way too high, and then the padding was just too much. His body looked too
What
big
do you
for
think,
his head.
Solomon?
Um, it's just a
Basically,
50.
the boots, just like how crankly they are.
Yeah. And then we just have a point of order here, just because the season 2 suit is the same, but the boots change, and I really hate the boots because they look like wadded rubber molded clay. Like they just look really wrinkly and non-forming and pleathery and stuff. Like they're higher, so the height is good, but other than that, it just looks cranky.
Yeah.
But so last suit, take us there, Skitch, is Tyler's new season 3 suit. Solomon gives it a 66. I gave it a 70. James.
Um, it's
I
a 60
this
for me.
I really like this suit.
Oh, I'm definitely digging the suit. It looks a lot better on him.
It looks less
Um,
padded. It looks more a 3-dimensional S. The belt looks good. The cape looks great. Yeah.
the boots look good. Um, honestly, the only thing is the painted on muscles. It's kind of like they tried to do what they did with Justice League.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me because like it's taking away from the padding of it, and just kind of giving us more of like a little bit more definition. Like it's trying to show definition. But I get what you're saying, like the way they did Justice League.
Right.
All right, so that's our discussion there, and
And the
winner is. You ready, Solomon, to announce it? You want to announce it?
Yeah.
Tell everyone who's the winner.
Brandon Rice Crisis Earth.
So Brandon Routh Cryphus on Infinite Earth Kingdom Come suit is the best live action Superman suit. There, we have settled the debate with a point system. You can all join in and rank it on the criteria. All right, thank you, Solomon. All right, Solomon, you want to hang out and talk a little news with us before you have to go to bed? You ready?
Yeah.
So now we're going to go over to news. Here we go. Bat Wheels was on. That was pretty awesome. James, have you had a chance to watch it yet?
Most of it. Like literally to like a few minutes, 10 minutes from the end. So, I mean, I thought it was really cute. It was really cute. It was funny. It is definitely designed for a younger audience.
Yeah.
Um, I was kind of busy, so it was easy to lose my attention because I had stuff going on. But um, the kids really enjoyed it.
Me
The
too.
little ones
Good.
and the 4 and the 6-year-old.
The next thing is Stargirl season 3. Have you been watching?
Yes.
I have not.
Well, we can't say anything, but me and Solomon have been watching it together, haven't we, buddy?
Feel free. Don't let me
And
ruin it for you.
We've enjoyed it, haven't we, Solomon?
Yep.
And it's been a murder mystery. And that's what's cool about it. Like, I like the way they've done it with, like, the frenemies, and they've kept the murder mystery angle. So, Solomon and I have really been looking forward to watching it together each week. But I encourage everyone to watch, retweet everything, because we want them to renew Stargirl. We should probably be hearing soon about if it gets renewed or not.
Well, I am going to have to jump in on it and watch some because I've really enjoyed Stargirl. I've seen season 1 and season 2, and they are really great. And I did see some fight choreography from Sportsmaster
yeah.
and Tigress going on, and it looked pretty awesome. Looked pretty good. Which is saying something because I mean the only show that looked good when it came to that was Arrow.
Speaking of Arrow, the Arrowverse turns 10. And it's still technically going until all these DC shows wrap up before anyone says Crisis tied it all together. So 10 years of the Arrowverse. It is sweet.
That's
It's also
pretty
crazy to
sweet.
think about. It was only 3 years in when Solomon was born. He just gave me the big eyes. And then here's something that Solomon got excited about. Solomon, do you want to tell everyone what's on HBO Max now?
Super Pets.
Say it loud and proud in the mic.
Super Pets.
Yeah, Super Pets is now on HBO Max. And what's interesting with that is you can't buy it digitally now. But they took it down from the digital retailers. So I'm wondering when they re-release it next month on home video if they'll release the back on digital retailers.
Oh, interesting.
So
Is it all renewed?
pretty much, buddy. It's time for Solomon to head to bed. So tell everybody you're off. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
See you, Solo.
I hope you guys have a great morning. I know I have to do computers, so there you go.
Hey, you gotta get your rest. You need to get up and gotta save Metropolis in the morning, pal.
Yep.
All right. And
Bye.
that's Solomon signing off, everybody.
I'm going down.
In other sad news,
If he keeps talking, fading away.
The Flash season 9 has officially started filming. Grant Gustin posted a heartwarming, sad video. Well, not video, but like post of just standing there and his kind of what it's meant to him and what it means. So it has.
Yeah, I saw a post of him saying it was last time he was gonna last season he'd be putting on the suit.
And I mean, I love the Flash show. Like, I love him as the Flash. I know the show has had its problems and struggled here and there, but probably more than any other show than Superman and Lois for the longest time. Like, when that show came out, just how much it meant to me and how much I was in love with it and head over heels for it, and just what it meant to me at the time in my life and everything. So the Flash definitely holds a special place, and I mean, go back and watch that first season. It is still an amazing season. first 2 seasons actually.
Yeah, Jamie was rewatching some of, or well, actually for her first watching, um, and I actually spoiled something about Thawne
Dang
Reverse
it, James.
Flash for her, not realizing she hadn't gotten that
Dang
far
it,
yet.
James.
I didn't know she didn't see that. I mean, it's like episode
Hashtag,
9.
dang it, James.
Right. Let's get that one going.
People will be like,
Dang it, Bobby.
They'll be like, I don't get it, people. And Cat's not going to run my
Right.
stuff. I apologize for all people who are like, what's going on? Cats, man.
Hey, you got a cat bothering you? And I'm not going to say she was bothering me because she wasn't. You know, I would have stayed there. But the baby, she wants me when I got something to do. Otherwise, she
Yeah,
doesn't want me. And she wanted me before I
that's how
came here
women
to
are, man.
record.
They want you when you're busy.
Even less than a year old, huh?
But speaking of the Flash, we're getting a new version of an old villain. They recently announced the return and recasting of Captain Boomerang. Yeah, and he looks like
Really?
traditional Captain Boomerang. So
Well, that's
yeah,
cool.
it is exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, you know. Captain Boomerang's a cool character. He was a little wishy-washy when it came to his earlier appearance. And it's not, I just mean like he didn't stand out,
Yeah,
you
he
know
didn't
what I'm
stand out
saying?
like a Powerline
So,
song above the
yeah.
crowd.
I think every time we say stand out, you
I
bring
love
up
that movie,
Powerline.
man. Okay, I used to watch that Blockbuster all the time. It was one, and I still sing the songs. Just I used to
Hey, I sing along every time I
see
put on the
myself as
Goofy
Max,
movie.
and now I realize I'm Goofy. Simple as that. In other news, continuing on, this is okay. This is perplexing.
Perplexing. Good
There
word.
could be potentially somewhere, we're not sure, a Stargirl and Titans crossover, because there was like a behind the scenes photo of Britt. How do you ever say her name? Who plays Stargirls? Jeff Johns and Beast Boy. So, is there some Ryan Potter?
Yes, Ryan Potter.
So potential Titans and Stargirl crossover.
That would be really cool. I mean, they're two totally different tones, but I could see if like somehow Gar were there. Gar could probably
Oh
fit
yeah,
that tone of Stargirl and just kind of be like a loosely
Gar.
connected crossover, not like
Gar
the full
technically
team.
could. So I'm just like, cool. And it was exciting to see that photo. It'd be awesome if it's secretly like the finale of The Flash where he connects the new multiverse and no one knows it.
Right.
So that is cool that we're there. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's happening. If it's not happening, that sucks. But anyways, that's something to look forward to, I guess, you know? And let's see here. Doom Patrol is supposed to premiere in December. We know that Titans premieres in November. Titan is going to have a showing here in a couple weeks at New York Comic Con. So that's coming up the first week of October.
I'm really looking forward to the new seasons.
Yes, so am I. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was looking in my notes here. Pretty sure it's the first week of October is New York Comic Con. And then we just had the celebration of the 70th anniversary of Superman, The Adventures of Superman with George Reeves. So that's pretty crazy, 70 years.
Well, for an almost 85-year-old
and thinking
character.
how, its first TV show right there. And then, so HBO Max has canceled its Constantine television series that it was working on. The J.J. Abrams produced Constantine series has been canceled. J.J. Abrams seems to can't produce anything for HBO right now like he was supposed to, because J.J. sucks, I guess, now. But we are getting Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is Janine and I have been doing our Constantine rewatch, and we need to record because we were kind of doing our own Constantine thing for Patreon. And with October coming up, we're doing a commentary of the Constantine film. But now I feel like it has even more like gravitas to it. And what I've realized is Keanu Reeves is Constantine. Matt Ryan is Constantine. Because he's the English version. And Keanu's American, so he's Constantine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, of all the movies to greenlight, was it 17 years ago
Give us
that
Man
that
of
came
Steel
out?
2. Give us this. No, you're getting Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves. What?
Make a quote
I mean,
before I
I'd be
go to
stoked
bed.
if Rachel Weisz
So,
returned with it.
you guys have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Godfather, Solomon. He sleeps 30 feet away. The Godfather.
I mean, I'd be stoked if Rachel Weisz
yeah.
came back.
But I'll be.
I'm gonna check it out either way. I mean, I like the original one. At that time, I didn't really
I don't feel
know
like
much
nobody
about the
did.
character, but I also thought it still turned out to be a half decent movie, and just the actors in it. I mean, heck, it was like an early introduction to Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm looking forward to it. I know Jania is, so that'll be cool. It'll give us something to watch together. She'll be happy. She loves Constantine and Keanu. And then let's see. Oh yeah,
I mean, you can't go wrong.
There are light up buckets of popcorn coming to your local movie theater for Black Adam. And rumor has it the Black Adam tickets are supposed to go on sale the 29th. And I figured they would have went when they released that like trailer, or when they released, the 1 month to go kind of thing. But obviously not. And that's all the news that I have. So now we're going to take a moment here, and James is going to tell us all about Superman, son of Kal-El. James? Back scratcher.
Back scratcher. Back scratcher.
Nope.
Sorry. All right, Son of Kal-El, number 15. So last we left Superman. John, he was with Jay, and they had gotten into Gamora to free all the post-human people that Bendix is controlling and killing. And they are face to face with the former president of Gamora and Jay's mother, who is now a post-human being controlled by Bendix. Superman rescues and takes all of the scientists out, leaving Jay alone there with his mother and Bendix. Bendix is twisted. Says, now you turn solid. You have caused me a lot of inconvenience, Mr. Nakamura, and Mother Dearest is ready to deal out some punishment. He says, if you think I'm, and then Bendix says, you have till the count of 3 or I blow her head off. And he just counts and starts attacking Jay. Superman gets some information on where and how they are controlling all the post-humans. It's not just Bendix. He's got a complex of people under threat of death. Being like, it's pretty crazy because he's like, the bunker will collapse if you try to burrow down to it. Bendix teleports in.
Yeah.
And it's designed so the people inside can't use their controlled post-humans to try and free themselves either.
It's messed up.
Yeah, it's a pretty twisted villain this go around. So Superman needs to teleport in, so he goes to get Wink, and he gets her, and he teleports inside. Disarms the soldiers and uses heat vision and severs all the controls for everybody controlling the post-humans. And they all wake up in the middle of the fight. And we've got Dreamer, and she says it's okay, it's over, as she's giving a post-human a hug, comforting him. Lex tells Bendix that it's over. All of his human rights violations, human rights abuses, and other atrocities have been made public.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Right? And sorry, Bendix is talking with Lex, and then his mother gets freed. She stops. And he says, we're okay. And you see that Robin severed Bendix device, his mind
I
control
love it.
device,
I
from his
love
chair.
Damien in this.
Yeah, I really like Damien with John. So I mean, it gives some hope for the new Super Sons movie that's
I like
coming
their
out.
dynamic. It's even more crazy than
Yeah,
Bruce and Clark's.
absolutely. He says, "Hello. I heard you've consistently tried to hurt my best friend." He says, "Move, child," and he smacks him. He says, "Want me to move again?" Bendix takes off running. He's like, "Seriously, you're running away?" And Bendix is shouting at people, "Someone kill him!" He says, "Good luck with that. These have the look of people who are completely over you and done doing your bidding." And Bendix teleports to Skywatch. Dreamer shouts for Superboy. Superboy. I just watched Superboy.
It's tough.
Superman.
Honestly, it's tough because I still think of John as Superboy.
Yeah, right. And Dreamer shouts to Superman, tells him that she has a dream burning death from above. And Bendix is on a satellite, and he's targeting Gamora and firing an energy weapon on the city. And John rushes in and takes the blast to the chest. Says, "I've never felt anything like this. I can feel it trying to burn right through me." He says, "Die, just die." Lex pops in. "Kryptonians are notoriously difficult to kill. Trust me, I speak from experience." And of course, Lex. Lex is backing him. He says, "You almost implicated me in a very public mess." He says, "Are you here to threaten me?" "Oh no, we're well past that. You're too ambitious and too reckless." Calls him a beta tester. "I will take what you built and improve on it. You were a very good beta tester." Then Bendix thinking he knows that he's smarter than Lex. Skywatch, internal defenses, target Luthor, and nothing. I've already taken control of this station. Skywatch, open airlock 7. and he jettisons Bendix right out
Yeah, he
into
does.
space. Yeah, it's space, Henry. I can't hear you complain. I like that line. I thought it was really good. I think Bendix gets exactly what he deserves, and I'm fine that Lex is the
I
person
think
who
it's
killed him.
hilarious that Lex is the person that killed him.
Yeah. So John says he feels something that he's never felt. Something building inside of
Oh
him.
man, I just figured it out. But keep going.
Lex, look at you, super teen, so willing to sacrifice yourself to save others. I'll definitely take advantage of that in the future. And he teleports back to LexCorp, and Skywatch self-destructs and blows up. Superman returns to Earth with Robin. He says something weird happened to him. It's hard to describe, and then he says we'll talk later because everybody shows up, which is kind of annoying. Superman talking with Dreamer and some of these others. What they call themselves? The Retaliators, maybe?
I can't keep it. There's too many names.
Something like that.
Everybody has a name.
Well, they were, yeah, they all have names. The Revolutionaries, that might be it. They're the characters that Taylor created during his Suicide Squad run.
Of course they are.
Yeah. Well, of course. Why not?
Their own characters. That's why.
Well, you know what's really cool is if you at least follow Tom Taylor's work, his continuity work, like at least like his stuff fits together. You know, so that's good storytelling. John is introduced to Jay's mother and all the cameras. Everybody's watching. Jay does not have his mask on. I don't care. You're not hiding. You're out there for the world. The least I can do is be beside you. And it looks like Jay and John are caught kissing on camera around the world, and everybody knows.
But Scotty
doesn't know.
But
Scotty doesn't know.
But Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. That's the song, Jania. Put that together. I need you to play that for me. Yeah, it was a good, it's a 15 issue kind of story run, and that's the only comic I had for this week. I haven't had a chance to read anything else. Yeah, what else do you got?
Oh no. World's Finest.
That came out
number 7
last week,
and
right?
Deceased.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. Last week's
so.
a blur. I didn't get a chance to hit the shop, pick that up, or my One Bad Day Two-Face. So we'll have to save those, and then
yeah, I saw that one coming out. I knew you would be. You said you'd.
And then
you were
next
waiting
week,
for
the
that
second of that Superman Space comes out, and don't worry, dear listeners, we're going to do a whole episode about that new Superman Space thing. So
yeah, which I haven't read issue 1
I kind of
yet.
think I'm just going to say, and I'm going to read all 3 of them. And then we'll.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Because I read the first one and I liked it, but I don't remember all of it.
Well, it's like what, every 2 months?
I thought every month, but I guess it is. I don't know, but whenever we do it, I'm gonna sit and reread all of it. So, all right, James, you said you watched some Superboy. So
I did. I watched episode 13, Super Menace.
Let me pull up my notes on that one here. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, let's see in a quick overview of this episode. I mean, we get Superboy exposed to red kryptonite. We get Metallo returning.
Yeah, we do. And what's funny is I just want to give a shout out to Anthony over at Digging for Kryptonite just did a discussion, and his guest was like, "Yeah, man, this is only they're talking about during the course of the conversation, Brian Austin Green's Metallo was brought up, and the guy was like, yeah, I mean, it's the only live action Metallo. And Anthony's like, and he goes, I think
Oh,
they did
yeah.
it on Superboy. And the guy's like, really? And then I'm like sitting
Yeah.
like, they also did it on Supergirl. They gave us 2 different Metallos on Supergirl. And then I think they did some sort of
Yeah.
kind of thing on Lois and Clark.
Yep.
So yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny because Superboy did give us
I think they've done
a Metallo. So what
quite
do
a
you
few.
think of this Metallo?
The only one that had a Metallo return.
What do you think of this Metal Zero Metallo Mahalo?
Oh, I mean, the suit was just as bad as last time.
It looks like
Maybe.
you ran out in your garage, fell into some tubing and stuff, and then just like put it on and
It looks like they added a whole bunch of stuff like tubing and wires and like tape and lights and stuff to like
it
hockey
reminds me of like a
pads.
Power Rangers villain. But you know what? I will say this: it still looks better than Gotham's Bane.
Oh my goodness.
Solomon and I just did a tier linking
Um
of every live action Batman villain we found on tier ranker, and he wanted to do it, and we sat and we did it, and it got to Bane, and I was like, drop that in the F category for F because that was some dookie. We also we had a dookie category, and it was lower than dookie. That's how bad it was. Like Shane West as Eduardo, like you're not even Hispanic, man. Like, anyways, I digress. But continue, Superboy.
yeah, so Superboy is invited to a military experiment where they're trying to get rid of the harmful kryptonite radiation rays dangerous to Superboy and harness the energy from its radiation as a power source. And they seem to heat it up and inadvertently turn it to red kryptonite.
That's the sequel to the Three Doors Down when they get back together because they're gonna make red kryptonite. Yeah. Yeah,
Red
they're just gonna retweak kryptonite, make it a little harder and edgier and a little bit more like of the now, and they'll just yell red kryptonite in it.
Yeah, so they like inadvertently they change the color of it and it no longer has the radiation. Superboy and the general go into the room. He touches the red kryptonite, and then Superboy gets very moody.
Yeah.
He crushes the general's hand, blasts a hole in the wall, and then next thing you see is Super Menace on the front of the Daily Planet.
I mean, we all have bad days, you know what I'm saying? But Superboy's not allowed to have a bad day.
Right. So no, things can go pretty bad when you have those kind of powers and you have a bad day. But the government frees Metallo, gives him kryptonite, so that way he can take down Superboy. They want him alive, but of course he wants to kill
Naturally.
Superboy. So he incapacitates Superboy, and then the government saves Superboy, and Superboy takes off. And then he goes to join forces with Metallo. And somehow, some way, a second dose of red kryptonite, because he tricks Metallo into absorbing the kryptonite, like coming to some new kryptonite, and then he uses the ray to negate the kryptonite that is powering Metallo. And he turns them both red, and then somehow a second dose of red kryptonite cures Superboy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
We get, yeah. And then we get, see, there was a couple of things in this episode that reminded me of like the first episode of Red Kryptonite
Mm-hmm.
on Smallville. Like, he took Lana to a bar with him. Um, uh, I think the heat changing the kryptonite. I mean, I think that happened to. I think it turned it to black kryptonite in Smallville, but still, um, I mean, they artificially created red kryptonite
Mm-hmm.
in Supergirl.
So how do you prefer it? Do you prefer
So
red kryptonite to be Kryptonian based, or to be like the artificial man-made version?
I like the idea that that it's Kryptonian based. That different minerals that were irradiated at the explosion of the planet. Um, those minerals became your different colors of
Okay.
kryptonite, so they had different effects. So, say like on Earth, like certain metals, certain ore, certain stones would be irradiated to have different effects. Same thing with the pieces of
Okay.
Krypton,
Yeah, yeah.
you
It's just
know.
it's one of those questions. It's like,
That's how I always figured it, like I've seen the artificial creation and stuff many times over, and I mean it's all super science anyways, so you just go with it. But it was kind of a lot less believable, that it would have. I mean, it has unknown materials in it. You can't create something with a unknown material, and a material that doesn't exist on Earth.
speaking of that, there was a meteorite that was just found that had like a diamond in it from space. So they're trying to. It's denser. They're trying to replicate it here on Earth. Yeah, that's actual news, people.
Interesting. I mean, a combination of certain things, I guess, you could come close to something like that, an
It's
unknown
fascinating.
thing, but still, you don't know. Yeah, you still don't know the composition, and I don't know. The artificial thing just seemed a little, as I guess as far fetched as everything else, but
Yep.
no, I definitely always preferred like they were from Krypton. That's the way I had always viewed it. And I guess like I said, geology, like different minerals, different stones and gems, and all that stuff, metals would become different colors of kryptonite during the point where they were radiated when the planet
It's
exploded.
cool. And IMDb gives this one a 7.5. So good episode. Good episode. Are you enjoying your Superboy viewing?
I am enjoying it. It's few and far between, but I think honestly that's better because I will pay more attention to each episode, because the longer I go on, the more episodes I watch in a row, the less I end up
Yeah,
paying
I
attention.
I took a break for a while, and then I went back and I'm in season 3 because I needed that break, um, to really like pay more attention, because it's it doesn't have the linear storytelling like now, where you can't really binge it in the sense of every episode connects. They're all almost standalone, very very loose
Yeah.
continuity, um, and sometimes that doesn't make for an engaging continual watch. So
Yeah, the only continuity is if you have reoccurring characters. Other
it's
than that, each one
because
is
each
is
season
always
almost is
different.
self-contained in itself as of right now. Like I said, season 1 to 2, there's big changes. Season 2 to 3, there's big changes. And like I said, that's where I'm at right now. It's in season 3.
Hmm.
So
Well, I'm enjoying going a couple episodes at a time.
all right, so we're gonna get a couple more on our next episode. We'll catch up with news. We'll catch up with anything else that's fun and fancy free here. James, anything you want to say to the good listeners before we head on out and You get back to being that sweet, sweet man. He's like,
Thanks.
I don't.
Sometimes you just make it awkward.
I don't know what that means. I don't either. I just said it because it sounded funny in my head, and then I said it out loud, and I was like, eh.
Well, I do want to tell you and the listeners, you know, you should, if you're not reading Deceased War of the Undead Gods, it's pretty cool. Issue 2 came out, and I read that. So well,
James,
that might
cool.
be something to talk about next
James,
time.
get back to fighting crime, protecting the city, and remember.
Look up in the sky. Yes, it's me, Sailor.
We just want to say, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network.
Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find all of our information right there. $1 a month, you'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton Report. We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us and then listen in.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, the Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, Caped Wonder, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope Podcast.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.